Three, two, one, and we are live. I think that's how Joe Rogan starts his podcast. So that was the first countdown I ever done. Martin Hõbemägi, my good friend, welcome to the sessions.
Yeah, hello to everyone.
So how you been?
I'm being quite relaxed. I think Corona has gave me a lot of free time, and school isn't that hard right now. I think there's already some subjects that are ended. So yeah, I'm chilling
So
and trying to get better at disc golf.
in Estonia, are you based in Tallinn or Tartu?
Right now I'm still Tartu, but I think when the school ends, then I go back to Tallinn.
Right. And may I ask what you're studying?
I'm basically I'm basically just studying finance.
Oh, nice.
The same thing that Kuno, but just 1 year later.
Right, right. You enjoy it?
Yeah, I think it's something for me at least. I think I find it quite interesting.
Yeah, I like economics as well. Uh, been studying on the background a little bit. Not particularly any good at it, but uh, definitely an interest of mine. So you've been with renju and Gomoku for a long time.
Yep.
Even you're a young guy now. Tell the guests, tell the viewers, how old are you now?
Uh, right now I'm 23.
23, so
Yeah,
same age than Zoltan.
yeah.
And you started as Solidid like 8 years ago. 8 years you were. 8 years
I
you've
think I
been
was
playing.
even maybe 7. It was definitely my first class where Ants, my trainer, came to show us the games in my school.
Right. So I think we got one picture here. I put the first scene on, and there's a couple seconds lag before you can see it. But your RIF um, page shows some young photos, and uh, guys, don't let it fool you. It says Q Dan 7Q, but you have achieved Estonian ranking of 7 Dan now, which is really high. And tell a little bit. Let's go straight to the deep end. Tell a little bit about your biggest accomplishments.
I think for me personally, what I think are the best best results I have had are two team world titles and European Championship second place. I think because the competition were I think much higher if I'm comparing it to maybe some youth world titles I have had or so, and definitely some renju World Championship A final appearances are again something I can definitely be proud of.
Very much so. And I understood you have gotten pretty much the most youth world titles anybody ever had for this game.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that it is. So there could be some Russians who have more than me,
Yeah,
but I think I'm definitely up there. Yeah, I have competed almost all youth tournaments I have been able to. Yeah, I think maybe I have missed 2 or 3 over 16 years. So yeah, quite many.
and you have participated the World Championships A final in both games.
Yeah, in Renju and Komoko. Yeah.
That's pretty sick. There's not many have played in a tournament of both, and Yeah, and you mentioned before that Team World Championships experience is even though not gold medal. Did you win gold medal yet with Estonia
Yeah, twice.
twice?
2000 and what it is, 16 and 18 or 17 and 19. I don't
Yeah,
know what years.
yeah, it's 16 and 18.
Yeah.
Yes, and so tell those Team World Championships. You had some nice stories when we had a discussion before.
Yeah, I think I have been quite fortunate because I was able to play already in 2010. So it was what, 11 years ago, right?
Yeah,
Then we had, because we won 2008, so 2010 we were able to put
two
two
teams.
teams.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that time I was already able to play in second Estonian team. I think I was maybe third table or fourth table. So actually I was quite young when I made my first appearance. Then 2 years later we played in China, and there I was already able to play in our first team. I think I was fourth table that time, and then 2014. mm, where was 2014 Team World Championship? Uh, if 16 was Taiwan and 18 was Tallinn, right? And
yeah. I can have a cheat sheet here on RenjuNet. I've got that open. So tournaments, Team World Championships. Uh, we got 2016 Tallinn, 2014 Taipei, and
oh, okay, then
2012 Beijing.
then we actually won 14 and 16 the titles.
Yes.
So in my third appearance, I was already winning it. We were quite lucky because Ando was able to join with us, so our team got much stronger by it, and at that time I was already in second table, I think. So quite big, responsibility for me. Uh, and yeah, I think I was doing my job. I wasn't playing that good, but I think there were many those positions where maybe I could have lost or at least I made the draw. I think my biggest game that year was definitely the last round against Chinese Taipei, where the all other games were ended already, and my opponent knew that he had to win. So I think the game was like over 100 moves or something at least that long. And yeah, I was able to make a draw. I think I didn't make any attacking moves that game, so so actually quite
Wow.
quite badly belayed, but I managed to hold it, and the rest is history, as they say.
Right.
And yeah, and 2016 when we won the second time, I think I was maybe the best shape in my life ever. I think I don't say I was theoretically very good. But I think I played quite okay. And yeah, that year I didn't lose a single game, or not even just losing, but I think I won all my games 2016 Team World Championship. So yeah, that was definitely quite big thing for me. I was very pleased with it.
Very good. And what would you say? How would you categorize your early years? Like how and when did you start playing, and what influenced you, and how long did it take you to get to, for example, one dan level?
hmm So as I said before, I started playing that my trainer, Ants. I think if you are a little bit connected with the renju world, you definitely know Ants Oser. Mm. So anyway, he came to my school and showed the game. So at that time, he had this structure in his school lessons that he made a tournament, uh, and everybody who were in class played it. I think it was like maybe like 9 rounds and 2 games with everybody, or something like that. And I managed to win my class tournament. So I was like, that's quite nice. I like winning. Uh, and and uh, and at that time I was also playing football. So my parents thought, okay, he's playing football, but maybe we should, try to give him something that he would develop his mind. So yeah, I liked winning. I won my first class tournament. I was like, okay, I can go. So I went to Kullo. That's the, I think, most well-known Estonian uh, training uh, course, or
I
training
think,
place.
yeah, I think it's the renju capital in the world.
Yeah. So I went
Headquarters.
there. Um, I remember at that time I didn't have that many uh, younger players who were my age. Uh, so I just went to the trainings, and I played a lot of games, like really a lot. I think every training I played at least 50, 100 games with okay, maybe some older children, maybe some younger children. Uh, I think there definitely was like 1, 2 children who was same age as me, so I played with them. And uh, yeah, I think quite early I started to manage to catch the older children, just because I don't like losing at all. So I was like doing my everything to get as good as they were.
Right.
But my first Dan, I think it took longer definitely than most of the other players who start playing older. I
Yeah,
think my first Dan,
perhaps if you're starting at age 7 or age 8, it takes a couple of years. But if you start age 15, I think for most 1 year more or less should be all right
yeah.
for one dad.
So I started to going different tournaments. I think I would not be surprised if I were the player who played most games, at least some years, like all around the world, like competitively. The games
Live
that,
games, that is.
yeah, the live games that went to RenjuNet. I would not be surprised if I was leading that statistic at least some years, because
Yeah.
not that I played only, or not that I played all Estonian tournaments. I traveled also a lot. I was quite fortunate that my parents were able to let me travel and play different national tournaments. So so yeah, I played a lot. I really played a lot, and I think the biggest thing what helped me to grow was that in Estonia, I think all the players are like super friendly. And as I was maybe younger, I always tried to understand why those older players are doing those moves that they are. So I was always asking, but why you can play here, why you can play there? And they were never like, okay, shut the fuck up. Oh, sorry. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
just
It's all good.
shut up.
It's all good.
Uh, but they were always like showing me how to uh, or how they are thinking, and what are the correct moves, and like most importantly why those moves are correct. And in the years 2020, 2010, yeah, and 2012, I think when I played with like when I played in Team World Championships and we had those team meetings every week. Those were also the places that I just went there and the better players were like analyzing. But sometimes when I didn't understand why they are making those moves, I was always able to ask, and they always tried to explain me. So yeah, I think I was quite fortunate.
For sure. Yeah. Any growing any player, young player in Estonia, particularly in Tallinn area, that wants to put in the time and effort and really wants to get good. Uh, I can't figure out better place to play the game. Live, that is. Online you can play anywhere, but live, that is really good.
Yeah, and even later years where yeah now I have Iowa, right? So there are at least I think last like 5 6 years. I think I haven't gotten any better with my practical skills or playing behind the boards, but I'm always able to come back because Ivo always helps me, and if I have ever asked him anything about like any renju related stuff, I think he has always helped me, and if you have that kind of player, I think also it
How
yeah.
would you categorize your games with Ivo, or your skill level, or uh, is he somebody? You guys are both Estonia ranking 7 dan. Uh, I don't want you to say you're better or worse, but how which kind of words, how would you describe uh, your rivalry?
I think theoretically there's like the gap is enormous, right? Theoretically he's just I think above all others. Uh, maybe behind the board. I think I'm we are quite same. I don't see that big of difference. Probably he's maybe a little bit better because I think he understands those positions that comes up all the time. Like in Renju, there are like you see some kind of structures, and you are like, oh yeah, I have seen this structure like 100 times, and I already know that maybe this move is the best one here.
Yeah.
So I think I have still some of some of those structures that I have not like fully analyzed,
Mm.
and I could make some mistakes. But I think for Ivo, those most likely come quite organically, or how to say.
Yeah.
Uh, but if we are talking about like raw analyzing, seeing like 10 moves ahead and so on, I don't think that in that case we have that much of a gap. I think in that way we are quite same.
Equal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So besides Ivo, with whom, where, how, and how often are you training nowadays?
Well, nowadays I'm not playing that much uh, with any others. More, I'm just analyzing behind computer and trying to see what the computer thinks about positions. Of course, I'm sharing compartment with Kuno, so we are playing
Yeah.
a lot of different games. Sometimes if I want to make some games, I ask Tauri Burk.
Yep.
He's also quite often able to play, and he's quite similar strength than I am. So the games are quite interesting, at least for me. And of course Topkin, but I think I'm not sure I have played with Topkin that much online. I think he's maybe more of a rival behind board than
Right.
than online.
Yes. And you mentioned earlier that you don't categorize yourself too much as an online player. You prefer playing live
Yeah.
behind the board. Do you play? You also mentioned you play somewhat offline games, right?
Uh, Not that much. Sometimes when I feel like maybe there are some positions I would like to,
Test out.
usually if you play offline, you test out some kind of openings and then you see what maybe could be the most common ideas in those openings. Yeah.
And then you do the preparations. Of course, if you want to compete at the level you are competing, you need to put in the effort anyways for tournaments.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
how much time wise or effort wise would you say before the tournament?
I think usually when there have been some really big tournaments like team world championships or world championships overall, I think like a month is a period when I really start looking up for different positions, contacting with Ivo, what he thinks about different openings and positions.
Yeah,
And yeah, if there's going to be team or championship, we often have those team meetings where we
right,
also can talk about different positions and uh, what we think about the openings.
nice. Do you go and research other players' games in offline, perhaps, or is it mostly as you said earlier, looking at what computer thinks?
Yeah, I think I'm probably the person who thinks that he has quite good understanding what my opponents are going to play. So I think if I play against maybe a Russian player, I think I or have at least some kind of understanding what he could be playing.
Yeah,
If I play against maybe some Asian player, I think that they are playing maybe that position that way. So I think I'm definitely the player who makes this really clear. Mm,
categorization and
yeah,
I think that's the poker approach as well, showing there. You know, if you're playing poker, you need to be able to see and think what kind of player is there and what how you make different types of players in your mind.
yes, yes.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't think that I'm maybe that. As I was said, I heard that he's more like an analyzing player and thinking about what computers say. I think I'm more like I make a clear plan what my opponents are going to do and what I want to do in that or those positions and act accordingly.
Right. What kind of ambitions do you have for the future as a player, and what are you looking to accomplish as a player in particular?
Well, I think if you have already played in a final, I think those players always have only one clear plan or ambition for the future
Yeah.
to be number one, right? Uh, in that way, I think I'm no different. However, I have to acknowledge that last years, I think I have maybe played much less than I was used to. So every time I go to play some qualification tournaments and so on, it's getting more harder for me to be be in great shape and know all the positions that there have come in that time because the renju theory is changing like all the time, every week, every month.
Yeah. I don't know
So it's
where to take this conversation next because I have already two or three things on my mind. I was planning on moving the conversation to the other games and just maybe maybe say that it's not only Gomoku and Renju. You've been excelling. You've been doing really well with other games as well. I would like to talk about that, but now that you said about uh, the topic of the game evolving, the new theory coming, I think it's natural to at least ask your opinion. You've been basically the last 15 years when you've been playing the Renju opening theory has been uh, on the rule change of the opening in Renju. I would like to ask your opinion, which rules and how do you approach that? What are your thoughts about the rule change and the future of Renju? Just a quick question.
yeah. Well, I think I'm fully supporting Ivo in those manners because uh, when there was Yamaguchi, we already had those openings where you basically were able to get the draw 100%. I was even like, how to say, using it in a bad way, in that sense that when I played in Tallinn a final World Championship, then I played against like really strong players, like I think it was Shao Dong and Shrushkov, who of course didn't want to make a draw with me. So they needed to, really really mix up and go into worse end games just to get me off of theory.
Yeah.
And thanks to it, I was able to win them. But I don't think I was like better player or that I outplayed them. They just didn't want to make a draw with me. So I think, yeah, this is definitely something that should not be able uh, or should not be able to do in those kind of tournaments. So I think Yamaguchi was definitely maybe not the best opening rule, and as I understand, the same problems are starting to occur with saucer weight.
Yeah.
So I feel like Taraguchi then is definitely a way to go because it gives players opportunities to try different things and to really like outplay their opponents.
Even at my level, plus minus two Dan. Last week's episode with Pavlina, I don't know if I want to categorize myself that high anymore, but um, anyways, digressing here. Even I'm enjoying the freedom that comes with the five swap mentality on Taraguchi, and like if you have a plan and you're not, if you have some theory preparations and you want to develop the game somewhere and make some interesting fourth move, for example, then you have to kind of balance it out, whether you give your opponent the third move or you make the third move, what are the likelihoods that they'll swap and you get to play the fourth move, what are the other up, like I find it fascinating, most fascinating out of all the rules. For my level, it doesn't really matter whether it's Taraguchi 5 or Taraguchi 8 or Taraguchi 10. Of course, if it's 8 or 10, then you can put some wilder fourth moves, and you can get really creative. And we've been playing some not recorded streams over the last couple of weeks and just have fun games, no stress, no recordings, no those won't be published, at least for now, uh, anytime soon, I think, on YouTube. So but I find it really refreshing when you can start playing. And before with RIF rule, it was so tough because if you started something, it was always a gamble whether your opponent knew, and if they knew and if they remembered, then the game was over for half of the openings. But now
Yeah,
you can play those openings, and you can even venture out with some crazy fourth moves, and it kind of encourages players to prepare for tournaments as well. You can get better by experience those fourth moves and fifth moves. But if you prepare a little bit, then maybe, and that's the thing that I find interesting in the Taraguchi 10, is that if you think that your opponent might have some preparation, then you can't risk it.
yeah,
And like, if it's exciting for somebody at my level, mid stakes level, I think it must be, exhilarating at the highest levels, when you really have to think, where do you want. And it's not like somebody makes the opening and then you play the game, but you make the opening together. It's 5 steps, and you
yeah,
have you have a saying. You cannot blame somebody, they make the opening, because you both make the opening. So if there is anything to that, like, I'd like to hear. And uh, like, I'm looking forward to Taraguchi 10, like the highest competitive games in the future.
yeah. Same here. I definitely think that the push positions have gone much more like adventurous, and even the positions that I'm preparing for summer, some of them are like really wild, and yeah, I think it's just interesting and fun.
Especially the opening procedure, the first 5 moves, 6, 7 moves, just to see like how people swap. Before, it didn't really matter. It didn't really that much matter, but now it does. You can't slack off, and people might discount the first 2 moves, but I'm sure that people at the highest level, they will think, hey, it's one move on the board. It's not. The game starts already at that level. Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to start thinking, there's one move on the board. Should I swap or should I not swap? It's
I,
not all
I,
the same.
I I have found out that sometimes even the toughest choices after first move, then you have like only two moves, right? But even choosing between those two moves can be like really tricky, and might take some time, like 10 or even 20 minutes.
So, moving on, one question that I find super interesting when I have guests who excel at both games, and I really like to hear some words, your opinions of the games in general, some stories. You have played on the top level of both games. What are the differences between the games? How different do you see them? How similar do you see them? How close are the games, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think both games have their like wide wide range of theory, where some of them you probably need to know, uh, and you have to have a plan in very like different structures and positions. But I think the way how you are succeeding in both games is to be the player who is maybe actually better uh, behind the table, and in a practical play, where you are giving two players like or if you are giving players equal position, uh, then those who are able to play those equal positions better can succeed in both games, because I think there are a lot of mistakes that people are doing, uh, even professional level.
Yeah,
And if you are able to use those mistakes in your advantage and outplay your opponent, I think this is a definitely uh, way to be good at both games.
I agree.
So that's why I think I have been quite fortunate in that sense that I have really played a lot of games in my career, in uh, in live games, in different tournaments, and also in my trainings, uh, either in online or even in trainings in Kulla.
Right. Any stories, any topics relating to Komoku and Renju still? Any name droppings you wanna give a shout out to some biggest mentors? Some do you can you figure out? Do you have any names in particular in your mind about rivals over the years? Anything now? The floor is yours before we move to the other games and other topics.
Yeah, I think I have always been that passion to be first in every game I am playing. So I think definitely in Renju, I always wanted to catch up those best Estonian players like Tunnet, Aivo, Ando, and Ants. So yeah, maybe some players like nationally or in the world.
Yeah.
I think my biggest maybe like rivals have been the Russians who are my age, probably like Khrushchev and Fedotov, uh, who have always like pushed me to be better in every tournament and not to slack.
Right.
That I would still be able to beat them or at least compete them.
Have you been to Russia many a time for tournaments there as well?
Yeah, I think like 10 or more times definitely.
Oh, nice. Good, good. Um, so I knew you before, and I knew that you had excelled not only Renju and Gomoku, but also other games, board games, strategy games. Uh, I'd like to hear your approach to those. What are similar aspects, similar approaches? Maybe you can boast a little bit on your success on those games as well.
Yeah, maybe first I would even start again from Renju and Komoku. So if I if people have asked me what is my kind of way of playing Renju and Komoku or what is my approach in those games,
Yep.
I think I have always said that I'm really like aggressive player, uh, and I want to attack with black because black has the first tempo in game.
Mm.
So uh, I think I have always been that kind of player who wants never to lose that tempo and always tries to uh, like attack. Sometimes even maybe like too aggressive. I think this this can also be one of the reasons why I think I don't really have like really good games or beautiful games because I think I'm that kind of player who like attacks, and there are often like positions where my opponents have a chance to win, but for that they need to do like some aggressive moves themselves.
Mm.
So basically, if you want to win me, then you need to be able to like see ahead like 10, 15 moves and find those like very aggressive
Counter
wins or
attacks.
aggressive counter attacks. So usually yeah, players don't see them, and that's why I have been able to get some nice victories. Mm. So if we go to like different games, other games, then I think this approach or this way of playing continues. That every game I play, I think I play quite like aggressively in a sense that I always want to have that tempo. And even if like board games, if you are playing board games like Catan or Carcassonne, where you maybe can be like aggressive in a sense that how you how you move or how the dices are rolling, but you still can be aggressive. Like you can always do this table talk. You can always be like, hey, you see what he did here, right? It's really like strong. We need to like stop him. We need to like unite our forces, and through that I try to get a little advantages that can give me a higher chance of winning.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's always important uh, to like if I play other games, I also like I try to analyze why am I doing something. So if in Renju, if I attack or if I do some moves, I trying to find those explanations why I did so, or why I thought that was a good move. Uh, and I do the same in my other games. If I play Catan, if I build something, if I don't know, play chess, if I play uh, Poku, I always try to have those reasonings why I do my moves, and what I try to, you know, uh, what I try to achieve by doing them.
Right. I
So
identify patterns, analyze patterns, understand your own game, understand other players' game,
mhm,
understand what makes a good game.
exactly.
Uh, Makes sense. Like if I
And
look on those same lenses on my game, I think when I started 17, 18 years ago, Renju, Gomoku, I was super aggressive with black as well, but too much so. And then people were criticizing or pointing out that you shouldn't attack all the time. You should balance it out and just feel it out, make some moves to help your structure and develop the space. And then maybe that took a little bit too much. So now I think I'm more passive player, and Komoku players are laughing at me because I in Komoku it's really straightforward. Would you agree? Like in Komoku, there's no forbidden moves, so it's like with no matter whether you're black or white, you're just like hammering more. But Renju, you can play a little bit passive. I think if I look at my own game now, I think I should be more aggressive with black still and really put that pressure there and then force something. But I think it's just convenient if you're black and you just block the resources of your opponent and kind of trust that something will happen. But that's the same as in life. If you're laying back and you don't take the initiative and you're not being aggressive in that sense that I'm gonna make and do shit, it may happen or it may not happen, right? So but if you're taking the control and you're forcing it to happen at least to some extent, then people will follow. Am I
yeah,
getting too philosophical here?
no, I totally agree with you. And also I can never like be like or undervalued people in my life in that sense that I have been always quite fortunate that I have those people who have been able to like mentor me kinda. If I think about Rainshu, then yes, of course, Ants and Aivo, and if I think about different games in Estonia, we had this person called Andres Kuusk, uh, who are who are like excellent players, uh, even if you are comparing them like world best players, right? And I have always been able to ask what are their thoughts, how they think, and so on. So I think I have been, yeah, quite fortunate. Estonia is a small country, but there are those wonderful people who have been always able to help me, and yeah, and at the same time I have always had those maybe like other Estonians like Kuno and Topkin who uh, who also wants to play like different games and all the time get better
Yeah.
and try to things as as well as possible, and even like Madli Mirma, she has always helped me whatever whatever I have needed, even like try me to different tournaments. If I have any like problems, I have always been able to ask her, and she's always doing her best to help me.
And it's like slowly I always knew that ants and others are doing a lot, but like after now having this conversation with you guys, I'm really starting to appreciate, the impact he has contributed, amongst others, to renju and gomoku and European renju and European gomoku, and it's a life's work. And like when we had the prep session, we were having conversation before the session today, and talking about the topics covered, what we are going to cover. I got the sense that it's not only player, but you are also like inspiring to become a teacher and helping out, and you're keeping um, these classes and tutoring sessions within these games, helping out, providing to the next generations as well. So I think, it's the culture, and it's that's not an easy thing to create a culture, not for your generation, but for the next generation, and build that camaraderie. And like I think Estonian Ranger and Estonian Komoku will grow bigger and bigger and to great things in the years to come.
Yes, definitely. I think Ants has always like encouraged us to help each other, and there are no like lone wolves, but we are like a pack. So yeah, I definitely think that their their help has been tremendous, and yeah, also it's true that in a sense that as you said that we are also like mentoring now, and as I can see, me and Kuno, we are teaching in school, uh, in different schools or we are teaching in different schools the children to to start playing more and more Komoku and renju and different board games overall.
Nice. Um, what do you think on those other games besides Komoku and Renju? Um, how how much of those games are based on luck and how much on skill? Just thinking, if I, I'm a poker player. I know you are also a poker player, and in poker you have that certain part of the game is luck, at least for a shorter time frame.
Are you like thinking about like some like what games are you thinking about? You
I
mean Catan, Carcassonne,
Yeah.
or the games overall?
Yes, I have to admit that you mentioned those games, Boku, and we wrote them down, the names of them, Superfoot,
Yes,
uh,
Superfoot,
Car-
yeah.
Carcassonne, and Catan, but I don't know anything about the games.
Yeah,
I
okay.
just want to maybe hear not that I'm venturing out myself to other games. I think Komoku Renju and poker are keeping me busy
Yeah,
personally, but it's not that often I get to speak to somebody who is actually world top level at many games, and
yeah.
just interested to hear why.
Well, it's a true in a sense that, of course, when the dices are involved, like in Catan or like in Superfoot, there has to be uh, at least some part of it has to be on luck, right? And even Carcassonne, where you're drawing tiles, different tiles, yeah, it's basically the way you are drawing them. It's all luck. But at the same time, what I have noticed that if the game is 50% luck or less, and 50% is skill, then the skill like matters even more in a sense that if if you are now doing everything correctly, in that sense that what you are able to do, like
Yeah,
if you are doing all things correctly, based on statistics and so on, then the skill comes like even more important. And I think that's what I'm doing that well. I know what are the best moves by statistics, and if you are doing them constantly, then maybe you lose one game, but at the same time, I think you are able to win three three other games. So it's like, yeah, you are always losing. It's like you can't do anything about it, but you can make your chances of winning bigger. I think that's how I'm seeing it. And also luck is always involved. I think even in Komoku and Renju, in a sense that which positions you are going to play against different players, how they know those positions, also what are your mood that day, what are your opponents
that's actually where I was going next. So
yeah.
I
So
was about to, if you cut down there, I would have said I can't, like I will agree 100%, and then I would have gone to poker as well, back to poker. So in poker, everybody can play well if you know the rules. You can play well if you're getting cards right. And if you get a heater, you feel the confidence, you feel like you're winning. It's easy to play on a heater, right?
yeah,
But when you're on a downswing and you're on a slump for a long time, and that's where the skill comes with poker, you know, how do you, everybody will get bad runs, some for days, some for weeks, some for months. Even professional poker players, they can have a downswing for months. Even online players, live players can have downswings for years because of the various. But like, why I'm asking this for you now, because I think you understand what I'm talking about, and
yes,
you're talking about the luck portion, and it's less in Komoku and Renju. But how do you see the luck portion on other games as well? And like, I think it's interesting, and the psychological thing as well. Like, I know my experience is playing good players, and maybe some experience is playing not that good players. And I think, you know, we had some conversations with others about preparations and how do you approach, you know, if I have my answer, but one question that guests were asking me to ask good players before request earlier was that, Jussi, ask a question of good caliber. Uh, how do they approach on a weaker player? Like, would you take risk of playing like a gambling move on a tournament if you don't really feel like playing, or would you play the same approach for, let's say, one dan player that you would play 5 or 6 dan player?
Okay, maybe first I come back to the luck part,
Yep.
what you were asking me uh, about different those board games where dices are involved and so on. I think the problem for many people have been that if they see that there are some dices and they play, I think uh, they don't play well at all. I think they do many mistakes, but they are like saying that no, it wasn't my fault. The dices were bad, or
Mm,
that I didn't do any big mistakes, but just I wasn't lucky enough. I think that's like really a wrong mentality to have. I think often there are many things that you are able to change to improve your winning chances. I can bring example about Superfoot, where also there are dices involved, but I found a way how I was playing the game that I had 20 or not 20, even 200-point lead in world rankings, which meant that my and second place, how to say, uh, there were 200 points between us, but second place and 100 place was less than 200 points. So I was
mm,
really like rushing the field, and again,
right.
uh, like there were so many players who said that, oh, you're just like super lucky, but I didn't think that it was luck at all. I just found a way that I was able to play the game that really like uh, increased my chances to win. And of course, sometimes I lost, sometimes I had like really unfortunate luck,
Yeah.
and I won those, or not won, I lost those games, but there were much less, uh, like not that often as if I have played like the others were playing. So
Yeah,
I think
that
there are even the games that there are 50% luck and 50% skill, there are still so many things you are able to do to increase your chances.
I
So yeah,
agree.
I think the problem with many players is that they see that the dices are involved or there's some kind of luck, and they already start saying that, yeah, I don't do anything wrong, just bad luck.
There's a
And
great
now,
great lesson, absolutely great lesson for life as well. You should do the best you can in any circumstance, right? If you want to be serious, then if it's tough, then you do your best. And if things go great, you still do your best and you go after it. And like, it's inspirational stuff to hear that kind of story, and it reminds me actually Zoli's story of his first World Championship preparations, going after the game and inventing his own stuff. Inventing his own openings and creating his own theory. And
yeah.
if we can find those lessons and get inspiration on those lessons, and use them not only board games but life in general, I think it's super valuable.
Yeah, if you think about renju theory, there are, as we have said, I think many times that the theory is evolving like every week, every month. So basically, we can watch it in that way that year ago there were so many possibilities that were actually not being used, right? Where there were so many chances for you to be better than the rest of the field.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. And now if we come back to the question where you asked that where you asked that if I change my approach against weaker players, then I would say definitely. I have been playing many times different haljavas or positions that are not actually that good, but I know that my opponent is most likely going to do some mistakes, and some of the people might say that I'm just lazy uh, or I just try to get easy points, and to those I can say that yeah, of course it is. I want to get easier points because it means I need to consume less energy. Uh, if I go to play some maybe some real things that are actually quite drawish and equal, then I gave my opponents to better chances to make a draw actually, because sometimes they don't make the best moves, but because the positions are so drawish, they
Yeah,
still manage to hold, or the wins that I have are so
yes.
difficult that I am
So,
not able to find them. So
so it's actually not being obnoxious at all, but playing the
yeah,
best game in the best situation that you can, and trying to win.
yeah. In the end, I'm just trying to win. Yeah, and
Yeah,
and I think the best strategy is the way that you get that point most easily.
yeah,
If yeah, there might be a chance that 10% is that your opponent knows the haljava and you lose, but this could happen like anyway, and there are always chances that you lose somehow. So taking 10% up to maybe like 10%, it's just statistics, right?
yeah. This was, in true honesty, it was not asking for a friend, but it was asking for a friend. So it was a it was a viewer who asked me to ask the question of from any good player. I promised to ask it, but it's very close to my heart as well. The first renju tournament I ever played live was in Vesu Camp 2003 summer, and Ando Merite played offered me D4 opening on RIF, and I didn't win.
Hmm.
So I should have known it by then.
Yeah.
I think I had played 1 year. I think I was one dan level. You should know I7, and oh, it was I7. It wasn't D4. It was I7, and I didn't win I7. So that was a missed chance. I'm pretty sure Under doesn't let me play I7 anymore on a live tournament.
Or at least with two fifths.
Yeah, at least 2/5. Maybe he will, and maybe I will be tested those Sherwins once or twice. But
Okay.
maybe I don't play any tournaments ever again. Maybe I'll just do this interviewing on tournaments and streaming, so I don't have to play anymore. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
So let's see what kind of questions we had prepared.
Mhm.
We covered you as a player already quite well. Your biggest achievements. Um, we covered other games. We covered Komoku and Renji teaching in schools. Anything else on the personal life you like to say? Any other hobbies? We covered your education as well already.
No, I think anything doesn't come to my mind right now. Maybe we can go and show some games.
Yeah, let's do that. We had a prep session already with Oleg Pulatovsky, Ukrainian player, and he actually pointed out that that episode will be in early June, so 1 month from now. But he pointed out that it would be nice to have a recurring thing on these sessions, like a puzzle of the week, so to speak. Well,
Mhm.
I took the liberty to stretch his initial idea a little bit, and we had an idea of perhaps you could present a position or a puzzle to the viewers, and I could show it to the next guest as well, and the next guest could see it for the first time
Mhm.
on that podcast, and then try to solve it, and maybe make the puzzle for the following guest as well. So we're trying things out. Let's see if that's fun content, and
Yeah.
perhaps we could start with that, and then look at some of the other memorable games you have.
Yeah, there is something that comes to my mind that could be quite interesting.
Nice. So I've got the Play 5 here. I'm changing the scene. Voila. Voila. And then
Mhm. Okay, so what comes to my mind is a position that comes usually from T2 T2 range opening,
yeah,
and it's actually quite practical because it was played 2010 in Team World Championship as the Estonia's preparation. But what makes it funny was that we thought it was quite okay for white uh, because we couldn't find good continue uh, continuous for black with Blackstone. Blackstone couldn't see, but later it was found out that actually the position is winning for black. So maybe I can show it. So
how would you categorize as a skill level puzzle? Where would this go? Not
I
not
think
a not a beginners.
as as uh, as two Russian masters, one of those were Shushkov, who is definitely uh, top player in the world, couldn't find it, then I can imagine that the difficulty is really hard.
All right.
But at the same time, I think I can make it a little bit easier. So then maybe our viewers could have a chance, or at least take this approach that you try to take a whole day uh, for this practice.
So let's not spoil the answer this time, and we'll have a good time trying to figure it out on the next episode, next session, and we'll get uh, the bottom of it later on.
Yeah. So actually, I think why it was so hard for those Russian masters was that they needed to start analyzing the position uh, from uh, from this sixth move, what was over here played, and that's why they couldn't find this seventh move, because it's really hard and crazy to find.
Yeah.
But if we make this
Overline.
yeah, if we make this overline, if we make it maybe a little bit easier for, oh sorry, if we make it a little bit easier for our viewers, interesting. Okay, uh, so I think this is a good place to stop. So the win is actually still like 10 moves ahead, and there are only like uh, like very exact moves that are winning.
Yes.
And you always, if you play something, I just bring example that if I don't know, play it this away, sorry, if you play it this away,
Think of what you want to show and where do you want to end uh,
no, I just want to
the
show
puzzle?
that
Yeah.
if you play it this away, you always have to think about what happens
Yeah.
if white plays those fours away, if
Yes.
we put something like here. Uh, so I'm not saying that it isn't the first moves aren't the correct ones, but
Yeah.
just when you're thinking about the positions, I just try to give some.
I know
I
what
just
I'm
try to
gonna be doing next week.
yes. So I think this is the position that everybody can try to take and
Yeah.
solve.
So first, just staring at this pattern, and then afterwards, it's all right if you can't solve, you can play some moves on the board.
Yeah, I
What you
think
say?
maybe for the next time, uh,
I'll
maybe
probably
maybe
I'll,
for the next time we can also or you can show the
the correct sequence.
correct sequence.
Yeah, I don't
Because
have
it is
Blackstone, but
yeah, because it is really hard to find the win and
yeah,
it's not that easy.
I would like to think if it's a, you don't have to spoil it, but it looks like there are some places where black could start, and if you say already a hint, a little bit of hint that it's 10 moves
Yeah,
away.
something around 10 moves.
Uh,
I'm not sure it's
if it's VCT, then I think I should be able to. But if it's something that you still need to make a pause move that makes sense, but it's a little bit tough to see. You know, those analyses that Ivo showed on his session, for example, where you put one stone and then you have thousands of analyses, you know, all like he basically says that I can place this stone because anything else loses. If you go to that level, you know, it's too difficult for
no,
my processing power. But if it's
it's
don't you don't
it
have to say if it's a VCT or VCT for the viewers that don't know, is a victory by continuous threads. So it can be threes or fours. But if you, as you said, you know, if you make a three, you need to prepare that white can use those four lines to escape it. So doesn't look like it's super easy.
yeah, it's definitely not easy.
Don't get depressed if you're looking at this for 3 or 4 days in a row,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
don't get depressed.
yeah.
I try not to myself.
It's definitely a pretty hard one for the first time. But then maybe next time you can take something easier. I just think that it's like really practical and it's I like this position and to be able to see the win here, it's really wild one.
It looks like it, and I'm already thinking, what then if I can't figure it out? Then the next guest can't figure it out. Then we are in trouble. Well, we'll figure it out eventually. So no worries. Um,
Yes.
and then of course you can join the Twitch chat next time if you have time, and you can help us out with some tips if you have
Yeah.
time.
Of course.
Great. Any other games, memorable games, something from your journey that you'd like to show?
Yeah, I think, as I said before, I don't think that I have many like pretty games or the positions that I can like really be proud of. That my opponent made the best moves and I made the best moves, and finally I was able to win. But
Okay.
I remember definitely one game
Yeah.
after what I was quite uh, quite like pleased with my games. I take a game from, I think it was 2013 World Championship QT, and I actually played the position that was losing for white, and it goes something like that. Maybe you can finish this one. Oh, then I can have my time again.
Oh,
So the
sorry,
fish.
like mind blown. Are you solving it in front of my eyes? And then I see some crazy moves, and yeah, no.
So my game went something like this. It was here, here, here. Oh wait, interesting. Okay, like this. Then I put this fork move. Uh, my opponent played here. I played here, here. So the start really isn't anything special. Sorry, here. I need to see what was my 10th move. Oh, okay, it was. It's like here. So it's, yeah, it's actually quite the interesting one. So now starts my attack. I played this 4 away. I played here. My opponent thought that it was best to just close it from here. I played this 3 away.
Yeah.
And now I went to the other side.
Yeah.
My opponent played here. I played again.
And then okay. Okay.
So now comes this funny position where I played away this white.
Symmetrical, really
Yeah,
symmetrical. That's almost 100% symmetrical.
and now I
Wow.
played this free, and my opponent can choose. Does he want to get the foul on? Does he want to get foul on L12 or F12? So that's when I played and finished my game. I was quite pleased, and it to me at least it felt really funny.
Yes. Wow. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, I think it's really rare,
Yeah.
especially in that high caliber of game like renju qualification tournament.
Yes.
But yeah, I was quite pleased with it.
So
And
for Gomoku players who are not really that familiar with forbidden moves, the one way to win for white is to force black to play an open double 3 or any kind of double 4 or an overline, and then black loses. With this move, I13, you're basically saying that whichever way you block this, you can force a double double 3 for L12 or F12, it doesn't matter which way you block, it's an identical win. So basically you just complete the 4 jumping one stone, and with that one stone you can create double 3 for L12 or F12.
Yeah, maybe I can I
It is
can
pretty. Yeah.
show the audience that
Yes.
if you
So
close that 3 from the left side, then you play 4 the other side, and now if black,
then it's a
yeah,
double 3. Yes.
if black puts e12, then he has lost the game.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm not sure if I have any other games that could be like funny or really interesting. Of course, I think I'm one of the like top like critics of my game, or I think after I have played my games, I always think that I didn't play my best game. So maybe this is a little bit of the reason why I couldn't find any good games, or maybe
Yeah.
again because I play super aggressive and there are often some mistakes that I do, and I'm fortunate that my opponents often also don't see them.
But that's fine, I think, and I don't think this click of stones necessarily needs to uh, be. I think we ran out of guests pretty soon on these sessions if we only interview the best games only. I think it's more about the journey, the approach, uh, showcase of some memories. I can think of a couple of games, not necessarily all my wins, but some games that affected me, like when I was playing, and brought me joy or brought me, despair. Drove me crazy, or just some emotion, when you're tired, you've been playing 3 days on a tournament and you're exhausted, and then you're fighting, just examples of fighting spirit, or just some stories, I can think of few games where what I played, and maybe at some point I can show them as well. But I think finding these kind of stories, these kind of patterns, it enriches, and I think it might, for some Gomoku players or some players who don't play any 5 in a row games and just happen to be at YouTube and bump into this podcast and gave it a go. Maybe showcasing that there are some funky positions, and I think, if I when I was playing Gomoku initially, like, it's very much attacking. Of course, back 19 years ago, it was totally different game than Gomoku is today. Uh, that I've mentioned a couple times before on these sessions. But what drew me instantly to Renju was the forbidden moves, especially open threes. I find it extremely addictive. The feeling that I can create a forbidden move for my opponent, and like I can force my opponent to make, like, lose the game, not for me making the 5, but like making structures that put my opponent to, very tight situations, and navigating that game so that I can win by a foul.
Yeah,
I fell in love with the game instantly. Probably the first time that I saw, in my mind, that I'm playing white and I can trap my opponent. I think I was sold, like, for life.
yeah, I think there are often like people in Renju or Komoku community who like really want to like choose one of those two that hey, this is definitely the better game.
Yeah,
I don't really have that uh, big of the preference or that I would think that Komoku is any lesser game or something like that. But I also find that Renju in those same exact reasons what you were saying that makes me a little bit more excited and yeah, it just makes it a little bit more interesting for me. But I would not say that yeah, hey, Komoku is definitely like worst game anyhow. I think it's totally good and interesting as Renju.
yeah, and like I've said it out loud before, and I want to say it again. The game of Komoku has changed so much over the last 15 years. The world was different when I started, 2002. Gomoku was pro Gomoku. There was no such thing as swap 2. It was Sherwins or pro long openings, and there was no really that much of challenge. You could play on PlaySide, you could play on itsyourturn.com. That's it. You had Kurnik, and but when Kurnik was there, I started playing on Gambler. I started playing on online Renju class and studying Renju already. So I was at that point, there was no, at least for me, there was no serious thing as Komoku anymore. Yeah, it's your turn. You could play some um, Samor nickname, Samosvetov. I think he was like one of my rivals on my first uh, 6 months of the game. I really wanted to win him, and I got one draw, and I was super happy on a pro Gomoku. It was that level of excitement. I was invested. But when I got to know Renju back then, the beauty of the game and the forbidden move is just, for me personally, it was like I didn't look back at Gomoku for a long, long time. But then, say 5 years, 7 years ago, I was visiting the tournaments, the events in Prague, something in Poland as well, and I played for fun, and I saw these guys who are watching the stream on the chat as well now, and some of these Czech players, Hungarian players, Polish players. I was like, yeah, I'm semi okay Renju. I haven't been active, so I'm shite, you know. But I should be them, right? And I started playing, I had no chance, no chance. And then they were like analyzing after the game. They were showing moves on the board of like what they thought, and I was like, damn, that's beautiful. That's like super sharp, but you can count a long way, like twice as far as I can count. And like then I started looking at those games, like top level Gomoku games, and I was like, no, this is this is not Gomoku that was 20 years ago, no, or 15 years back then, 15 years ago. That's not the same game. And like I don't play Gomoku well now, but I think, I like the game. And the Swap 2 enables you that, like, I wouldn't like the game if it was like you play against a good player and then you lose. It doesn't happen because
Yeah,
if they open something, you put two stones and you can disrupt their theory. And then if you can count and you have time and you want to fight, maybe you can fight. And then if you don't have anything to lose, if you're a Renju player going to Gomoku tournament, you don't have anything to prove. Nobody expects
yeah,
anything of you. But if you go there and you fight, and you can escape that theory by calculating 3 or 5 stones, all variants in the beginning. They open something and you think, okay, you put fourth and fifth move, and we'll see. Maybe it's balanced it out, or you can decide to make it sharp. It's dangerous, but you can get an lucky win that way as well if you want to choose to play that way.
Yeah, I definitely think that Swap 2 gave a lot to Komoku, and that the Komoku players are really good attackers in my mind. I think this could be the reason that in renju you have more ways to win, so you don't need to be that aggressive. But Komoku players need to be like extra aggressive to outplay their opponents, and because
Yes,
of that, they definitely have learned the way to attack. So yeah, I, I think there are definitely a lot of things that renju players could learn from playing Komoku also. One of those being a better attacker, and how to maybe play more like aggressive style.
I agree. I agree. All right, we're
Mm,
about hour and a half in. What do
yeah.
you want to do next? Talk about some random topics. We can play a couple games. I said earlier on that I wouldn't play against you, but I don't know.
Maybe do you also have some tournaments in mind what you are want to visit in this year or maybe next year, or uh, what are your ideas about those tournaments that are upcoming?
Nice. We can talk about me, my favorite topic
No, no,
subject.
not no. We just I was interested. What are your like plans are going to be?
so
What tournaments are you are going to visit?
so how I approach now the live games is when the world opens again, which I think it will sooner or later, and there will be live tournaments. If I'm in Europe, if I live in Europe, which I probably will, there are some options in Asia as well. But if I'm in Europe, I want to visit tournaments. Um, the World Championships, Team World Championships are, of course, nice events because they attract many of my old friends. I can go and see old friends and make some new friends and have some nice night out, few beers, and maybe play some games as well. So I don't have any particular tournament in mind now because I don't know what will happen and when the tournaments will resume. Um, but I do have one thing now. I hope that I can organize every year at least one tournament for the memory of my brother Yari.
Mhm.
And we tried it last year as in Super Siirto, Super Move Memorial tournament or event. And if that event is branded Super Siirto or Super Move, then the tournament could be not a Helsinki Open.
Yeah.
So we can organize it wherever. And I would like to organize like a fun weekend, whether that's in Finland or Estonia or Russia or some fun place where friends come and join a weekend, have a few beers, play some renju, play some gomoku, play some poker, and just you know I really miss that, and I hope this summer we are able to do that at least, you know at least how we did it last year. Maybe it would be nice to have 15 or 20 friends, but if we don't know what the summer looks like COVID-wise, so I'm not too stressed about that. And a few years in the future, it would be nice to establish a tropical adventure. PCA in poker, that's the January tournament in Caribbean that every poker player wants to start their year in tropical adventure. I would really like to, coin a tournament in Thailand and just have a little bit of luxury, a 5-star resort, and do like a recurring tournament in Thailand, an annual tournament. So I've got some plans and some ambitions. Some of those work out, some of them don't, but I really, really like to do that. You know that I lived in Thailand for years and
Yeah.
got some connections there, and now I have a couple of places already like in mind, resort wise, that where I could maybe pull it off. So talk to some people already, and I think there are some interest for participants as well, but it
Yeah,
might
definitely.
it might be a couple years into the future, those plans.
Yeah. Well, I think if you are up to it, we can do some two games or one with each color.
Yeah, we can do
For
that.
example. Oh, okay.
Easy enough. Sat down, and it's 15 undo unrated, 2 seconds per player, so we won't get too extreme blitz. And start.
Sure.
Nice. Let's see. Good luck.
Yeah, you too.
I'll need that. Well, we'll make some nice couple games. I hope. I hope I get
Then
to like 15 moves, so it's not like done instantly.
I think.
Anybody on the chat want to ask Martin anything? Can type on the chat. Oh no. Why did I do indirect if I wanted to escape that? I don't want you to test me on the. I know there are some tricky ones. I know also that you can play like positionally, but d4 is easier on that. I don't think you can do 10. Can you? No. I don't think you can.
Probably can, but I think if I put them there, most likely are at least some of them are like equal.
Yes. I'm claiming no preparations. Let's see if I find any of those semi playable ones.
Yeah, I think this could be it. However, I still try to take black.
All right, fair enough. Not surprised, but I'm wondering if I dare to play down. No, maybe not. Maybe not. It's too passive if I just block it symmetrically. But anyways, if you get that point, that's too strong already. Might be too passive. Yeah, to give black and open game might be.
Well, you're definitely testing my attacking skills right now, but I think are quite rusty. But let's see.
Okay, okay. That looks already bad. Really bad. Don't I don't have any lines at all. It looks super dangerous. Now I at least now I have one line, and I was able to block a little bit. Okay. If I play I10, probably complete, or I would complete the 4 and then take the upper one. I would block up. Then it's already too late, is it? Perhaps. Alright, but let's see, let's see. Mm, 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 mm. I don't really feel like the H11 is enough because then you have the structure on G9 to I11 and then you can just play a move, any move on the top right position and use that later on. So because of that, I need to block this. And even as I know that you can get the G9 to I11 line and then maybe do some more damage. Yeah. Oh, you didn't go there. Why?
I don't know. I feel like I can attack both ways, but I thought maybe this way it's even stronger.
Okay. That's against my intuition, which doesn't say anything. I'm, I'm one or two down and I'm playing seven down, so my intuition. But uh, I would have blocked it up. I would have probably blocked it up. So if I block it up, then
Yeah, I'm not saying that your plan was anyway worse. It easily could have been even better than the plan I have right now. Just it was something that I felt at the moment, and
yes. Uh, with white, if there is no like easy win, VCT, I mean, I like these kind of moves that I made G8 because I create two lines and I block one of your line. Like
yeah.
I'm happy enough. I don't need to have more perfect if I don't see a win or a clear way to attack on VCT.
Yes, it's
Just
definitely reasonable.
oh, I just noticed I didn't change the 15-minute. Apologies for that.
Nice.
I tried to sell 10-minute games, and then we were playing 15, so that's my mistake. So H12 is a VCF threat for black, but can white attack now? And white go J5, and then no, not enough. Black would supposedly have to take L5, because otherwise perhaps too strong. And is there something with these lines? Not yet. Then my question is, if I play the sneaky way, so I don't give you that extra stone, but instead play here, and if you find it that you have to block E10, then I can go already here, right? And then I could possibly do something else. Or even here. No. No. Mm, okay. Just trying to see now what happens if I play not a relevant move. If I play a move, something irrelevant, what happens here? Black can play here and then continue. Black could play here, white, black, white, black. Maybe try out. Black could play something in between, meaning that if you play here, I could cut it somehow. Or just play directly here. But I don't see anything super good here. Maybe this could be connected to that line. Is there anything there? 7 minutes. I need to start playing. But for the record, I made the 15 moves. That was my my goal for the game.
Yeah, I think you are playing totally reasonable.
So let's see if I play here, you play here. Is that it is a little bit dangerous. feel like if I back down and start defending, there's nothing good for me there. Maybe there is. So as earlier, I made 2 lines and blocked one of your lines, not knowing if it's enough. That is a VCF thread. Oh no. Let's hope this is enough. Thinking you're trying to force it here next. Then I'm thinking, can I prevent it anywhere else but here or here? You block it. No, I couldn't block it here because it's a VCF. So I could block it here. I think it doesn't help because you can still play here and then here and so then which is better? This one or that? Perhaps this. Yeah, 3 minutes left for me. here, and there. Is there a cut? Here, here. Is there a sequence here? I have to play here, otherwise. Ah, yes, of course, yes. It's not enough. Resign.
Yeah, got
Thought
lucky.
somehow that it would be enough, but no, no. Nice game.
Yeah, it was really on the edge.
Well, you're being kind.
No, no, it was quite hard.
Let's see. See if I can get to make the. That's my master plan. At least one draw. Let's see a wild fourth move, shall we? Yes, yes, yes. Something super crazy like this, or here, here. It's the wrong opponent when I'm playing against the Gomoku Superstar as well. But for renju player, this kind of opening, this E9, it's such a weird for renju players, or even farther. How do I balance this out? Let's see how much you want to play black. For the viewers, this is kind of like challenging LeBron James to play one-on-one. You can make it look like, yeah, this is fun games and everything, but we all know how it's most likely to happen. But as a life lesson for anybody, if you're playing against LeBron James, you want to play for the first goal, and you want to just take your shot. Maybe you win. Who knows? So that analogy, in my opinion, is like if you play a top player, you might as well challenge them and try to do something that they're not perhaps expecting, and then if you can surprise them, then maybe you have at least some chance. But if you play on their rules, their preparations, their theory, if you let them balance it out, very, very slim chance to do anything. I think he wants e7. I7. This is e7. So e7 is very key because you have all these lines and he can do everything. But if I play here, can he go there? He can go. He can go there. No, he cannot because I play here and then I play here. So maybe he can't go there directly. He can take this. I take that, and then he takes this. Can I balance it out? Because if I can, that would be super. If I play here and he takes this, what then? I play lower and it's... I might as well try. Well, okay. What am I not getting? Kind of need to take this side because otherwise, surely super, super strong here. Yeah. No, I smell like a trap. No, that was somewhere. Doom, 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 doom. Not enough. I play here, you play here, I play here. Cause some disturbance. But is it good enough? Then I play here. And then you win. I play here, you play here. I play here. And you play here. Aha! That's a double. See? I evaded. Double three, open double three in my head. I get a parrot pin. Papukaijamerkki. Do they say that in Estonian language as well?
No.
No. Papukaijamerkki, that's a Finnish thing.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm seeing doubles everywhere. Like if I play here, you play here, and then you play here, and then you just win here double. I don't know if I can evade those doubles. I play here, you play here. You can force here. So I think it's perhaps already pretty settled. Just have to check something out. What about here? Let's see. Let's play that. It's the only one didn't lose so quickly. Maybe it loses like in 3 moves, but not in 2. Double, double, double. Ah, tum, tum. And then before resigning, checking if there is anything I can do to counter. But no. No, there is no. And then is there anything? No, there is not.
I think you were actually on right track. I think e7. I'm not sure if it's winning for black, but it definitely
At which point was that?
before the f4 move, before the last move you made.
Can we try and see what it looks like on the
Of course, yeah.
on the board?
So I played here, yeah, and now if you play e7,
E7. No, E7 is taken. That's D7.
Is it L7? No, e7. For me, it's e7.
I7.
I7, sorry. Yeah.
I7. All right. Okay.
You were thinking about it.
Yes, because I didn't see that I could use that. No, I could use this, and then
Yes.
go here and Did you test me? Did you test me, or did you just when I hovered here, you realized? Oh, swear word.
It was when you hovered there. I found out that maybe I made made a mistake.
I was looking at Pavlina's game, the first game, and I was like, no, there was an overline. I should have played that. No way. So yeah, but I admit I'm super rusty. But I think like the rust will go away if you just play games, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
if it's easier for you to play games if you're inspired. And talking to you guys, nothing's more inspiring. Martin, thanks so much, man.
Yeah.
It's been a big pleasure to have a chat with you, man. Couple games. Look, some of the games you presented a nice nice puzzle as well for me to use basically the next week and try to solve it. We'll see if we'll get Epifanov as the next guest. There was already some discussions. He's now playing the following weekend. There is a tournament in Russia, and he was saying that he might help do some streaming there and game analysis and do his episode already tomorrow. We didn't lock the time yet, but I'm hopeful that Dima Epifanov will be the next guest, and I hope that together we can solve your puzzle.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a great player, and I'm sure he will find it.
Do you
And
have any other topics or any other comments perhaps on these Click of Stones things that we are now attempting the streaming? Any final words on your end?
I think it's definitely a great idea in a way that at least for people who are connected in some ways with the renju and komoku, I think this is definitely the content that we are in need and what we would like to see. And for younger generations, I think again this is maybe something they would more prefer to watch than maybe maybe just play with random people in random online sites. And
Yeah,
and if the Click of Stones can be something where people can learn, and those maybe younger generations can learn and look for their first theory or some ideas what to play in their first games. Again, I think that's a great way for younger generations to learn.
that's well summarized exactly what I'm attempting here, and this is we're now building your generation. So as I
Yeah.
sarcastically, ironically pointed out, I'm an old timer already, and it's a great game because you can play when even older than I am now. So, but we're basically building your generation, the good players who are now 20 somethings, and then the next generation who come, and I hope that you guys will have a great platforms, and you guys can leverage, like, take chances and use whatever technology and whatever platforms there are. Don't let any old timers dictate how you build your games, and seeing and discussing with personalities and great minds such as yourself and Zoli and Topkin and countless others. I see some pretty darn good uh, continuation and future for the games. So I think that's a good note to finish the session today, and I'm looking forward. If you want to come to teach some renju on separate podcasts, it would be a pleasure to have you, mate.
Yeah, sure. I hope it was interesting for everyone to listen, and good luck, everyone.
All right,
Thanks.
catch you later. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Early on, and then we'll do three,
I'm not
two.
ready.
Yeah, no,
I'm meeting. I'm not ready. Not
yeah,
ready.
no. This is you didn't put the Helsinki Team Championships shirt on. I was, I
Just a
was,
second.
I was expecting. Count was about 20 moves altogether, so 10 black moves. So maybe I have made a mistake. It's not.
If you want me to give you a
No, 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 no,
really
no.
hard
Yeah.
puzzle, I can give you
Yes.
a
Yes.
really hard puzzle
Yes.
with a win on the 100. Okay, okay.
But anyways,
So come on.
once more, I don't know if this is correct. But I had 1 hour on my board